Today we will explore something profound, 7 signs that you have already passed the most painful test of your soul, and the 7th one is the most powerful of all. It will completely change the way you understand your journey, your wounds, and your inner light. Before we begin, take a moment to subscribe to this channel, leave a like, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your reflections are part of this collective exploration. What we are about to discuss may not only help you see your life differently, it may help you finally understand the deeper meaning of your own transformation. Carl Jung believed that the human soul evolves through a process of suffering, integration, and rebirth. He called it individuation, the sacred path of becoming who you truly are. But few realize that this process often hides behind life's most painful experiences. The truth is, the greatest spiritual test of your life rarely announces itself. It comes disguised as loss, chaos, or emptiness. And only after you've survived it do you begin to realize what it was preparing you for. Think back for a moment. Was there a time when everything in your life seemed to collapse? When people left, opportunities vanished, and you no longer recognized the person you used to be? Many who have passed this silent initiation remember a season like that, a time when life stripped away every illusion, leaving them face to face with their raw essence. This is the essence of what Jung called the night sea journey, the descent into the unconscious, into the shadow, where everything you have denied about yourself waits to be integrated. Passing the test of the soul means you faced this darkness and emerged with new eyes. It means that the storm didn't destroy you, it revealed you. The first sign that you have passed the most painful test of your soul is that you no longer fear solitude. At some point, your loneliness stopped feeling like punishment and began to feel like peace. You discovered that being alone is not the same as being abandoned. Instead, it became the sacred space where you finally heard your own voice again. Many ancient traditions speak of this. In the desert, prophets found clarity. In silence, mystics found God. And in isolation, countless souls have rediscovered their truth. If you can now sit with yourself without running away from your thoughts, if you can rest in your own presence without needing constant distraction, your soul has matured beyond dependency. You no longer seek validation to know your worth, because you have already looked into the abyss and realized that you are enough. This kind of peace cannot be taught. It is earned through endurance, through the silent tears and the nights when you thought you would never make it. The second sign is that you have stopped blaming others for your pain. There was a time when you looked outward, searching for someone to hold responsible for what happened to you. But something changed. Instead of seeing villains, you began to see teachers. You realized that those who hurt you were often unconscious instruments of your awakening. Jung once wrote that everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. When you truly grasp that, you begin to transform suffering into wisdom. It's not about condoning cruelty or forgetting betrayal. It's about understanding that your soul used those experiences to show you where your wounds were hiding. When you reach this level of awareness, life stops being a battlefield and becomes a classroom. You begin to live from a place of quiet compassion, even for those who caused you pain, because you now understand that they too were fighting battles you could not see. The third sign is subtle yet profound. You feel gratitude for the lessons hidden in your suffering. Gratitude used to feel impossible, even offensive when you were still bleeding from life's wounds. But now when you look back, you can see how each trial shaped you, softened you, and deepened your understanding of what really matters. This is not toxic positivity. It's the mature recognition that meaning can coexist with pain. Ask yourself, can I now look at my past not as a curse, but as the sacred ground where my soul grew? Can I feel a quiet thankfulness for the journey, even with all its heartbreaks? If so, you have crossed the threshold. You've turned pain into purpose and scars into wisdom. Every person who transcends the test of the soul reaches this moment, when they finally stop asking, why did this happen to me? And start asking, what is life trying to show me through this? That shift of perspective marks the true beginning of enlightenment. It is the moment your consciousness expands beyond the victimhood of the ego and begins to see the divine intelligence working behind the chaos. Stay with me until the end, because the final sign we'll explore, and the 7th, is the most transformative of all. It reveals the hidden meaning behind your entire journey and shows you the ultimate proof that your soul has already passed through its darkest night. The fourth sign that you have already passed the most painful test of your soul is that you have developed an unshakable sense of inner calm, even when life becomes chaotic. There was a time when every unexpected challenge would send you spiraling into fear, anger, or despair. But now, even when everything around you falls apart, something inside remains still, as if your soul remembers that you have already survived storms greater than this. Carl Jung said that, "In all chaos there is a cosmos, in all disorder, a secret order." Those words hold profound truth. You have learned that life does not need to be perfect to be meaningful. You no longer resist uncertainty because you have discovered that peace is not found in control, but in surrender. When you reach this point, life stops feeling like a constant struggle against fate. You begin to trust the unfolding of things, not with blind faith, but with deep knowing born from experience. You might still feel pain, but it no longer defines you. The fear that once dominated your mind has lost its power because you now recognize it as a passing visitor, not a permanent state. You've realized that emotional turbulence is not a sign of weakness. It's a reminder that you are human, still learning, still expanding. And so you face challenges with grace because you no longer need the illusion of certainty to feel safe. The fifth sign is one that many overlook. Your compassion has deepened, not diminished. Often when people endure deep suffering, they harden. They close their hearts to avoid being hurt again. But those who have truly passed the test of the soul do the opposite. You've allowed your pain to soften you, not break you. You feel the struggles of others more vividly now, because you recognize parts of yourself in their eyes. This compassion is not sentimental. It's born from understanding. You no longer judge as quickly, because you know how it feels to lose direction, to be misunderstood, to fight invisible battles in silence. The empathy you now carry is not weakness. It is sacred strength. It is the mark of someone who has seen the depths and chosen love anyway. When you reach this stage, you begin to attract others who are also walking their own path of healing. Conversations become deeper, relationships more authentic. You feel drawn to people who value truth, vulnerability, and spiritual growth. This shift in vibration is not accidental. It is your soul's way of aligning with what now resonates with your frequency of consciousness. Yet this new awareness also brings solitude of a different kind. You might notice that some relationships fade away naturally. It's not because of resentment, but because your energy no longer matches. This, too, is a sign of growth. You've learned to release with peace, to let go without bitterness. You understand now that every soul you meet plays its role. Some come to teach, some to test, and a few to stay. But none were meant to last beyond their divine purpose in your story. The sixth sign that you have passed the test of your soul is the ability to live with uncertainty and still move forward with faith. Life no longer feels like a series of random events. Even when you don't have all the answers, you feel guided by an invisible current, something larger than logic. You might call it destiny, intuition, or divine timing, but deep down, you know it's real. In Jungian terms, this is the moment when the conscious and the unconscious begin to work together. You trust your intuition because it has proven itself in the fire of experience. That quiet inner voice that once seemed faint now speaks with clarity, and you listen. You make choices not from fear, but from alignment with your authentic self. When you trust this inner guidance, your life begins to unfold in synchronistic ways. You notice patterns, coincidences, and subtle signs from the universe that seem to confirm you're on the right path. Jung called this phenomenon synchronicity, meaningful coincidences that reveal the hidden order of reality. Those who have passed the soul's hardest test begin to experience this more often, because their inner and outer worlds are now in harmony. This is the stage where your old self begins to dissolve. You no longer chase things that once seemed essential. Validation, approval, competition, the endless pursuit of status. Instead, you seek peace, purpose, and authenticity. You understand that your worth is not something to be proven, but something to be remembered. You begin to ask different questions. Not how can I get more, but how can I live more truthfully? Not who do I need to become, but who was I before I learned to doubt myself? These are the questions of an awakened soul, one that no longer seeks external confirmation, but listens to the wisdom that rises from within. And yet, even here, the journey is not over. There remains one final revelation, the seventh and most powerful sign. It is the ultimate proof that you have already passed the most painful test of your soul. It is the key that unlocks not only understanding, but liberation. Before we uncover that final truth, reflect for a moment. Have you felt these changes in yourself? Have you noticed that you react differently to pain, to people, to life itself? Share your reflections in the comments, because your story might be the mirror someone else needs to see their own transformation. Stay with me until the end, because what comes next will illuminate the real purpose behind all your suffering and show you why every heartbreak, loss, and struggle had to happen exactly as it did. You've reached a point in your journey where you can begin to see yourself not as a victim of fate, but as a participant in a greater design. The realization that your suffering had purpose transforms everything. The illusions of control and fear begin to fade, and what remains is truth, raw, liberating, and humbling. The seventh and final sign that you have passed the most painful test of your soul is this. You no longer identify with your wounds, but with the wisdom they revealed. You've stopped saying, "This is what broke me," and started saying, "This is what awakened me." Carl Jung often spoke of the process of individuation as the alchemical marriage between shadow and light, between the person we show to the world and the hidden aspects we once denied. To pass the soul's test is to realize that those two forces were never enemies. They were always part of the same whole. You have reached a state where you can look at your past self, the one who struggled, cried, and doubted, with compassion instead of shame. You no longer reject that version of you, because you finally understand that without them, you would not have reached this moment of clarity. The healing was not about erasing pain. It was about integrating it into the story of your evolution. This integration marks a profound transformation of consciousness. You begin to sense that every moment of your life, every joy, every heartbreak, was the universe speaking to you in a language beyond words. You realize that nothing was wasted. Every disappointment, every betrayal, every ending was carving you into the person you were destined to become. At this stage, the concept of forgiveness also changes. You no longer forgive because someone deserves it. You forgive because your soul can no longer carry the weight of resentment. Forgiveness becomes an act of liberation, not absolution. You understand that holding on to anger binds you to the past, while letting go sets you free. Think about it. How much energy do we spend replaying the same painful memories, wishing they had unfolded differently? But when you truly pass the test of the soul, you stop fighting with what happened. You stop asking, "Why me?" and start saying, "Thank you for teaching me." That shift in vibration changes everything about the way you live. From that awareness emerges something extraordinary, a quiet joy that doesn't depend on circumstances. It's not the fleeting happiness that comes from success or pleasure, but a steady warmth within, the joy of simply being alive, awake, and connected to something vast and eternal. This joy is the unmistakable signature of a soul that has transcended suffering. Jung once said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." You have done that work. You have faced your darkness and learned to walk with it instead of running from it. And now, instead of fearing the unknown, you trust it. You've discovered that the universe is not something to conquer or control, but to flow with. This new consciousness brings a deep sense of humility. You understand that every soul is on its own path, unfolding in its own time. You no longer need to force others to awaken or understand you. You radiate peace, and those who are ready will feel it. You become, in Jung's words, a light that others may perceive, even if they do not know why. There is another sign, subtle yet profound. You begin to live in the present moment with a new kind of awareness. You are no longer haunted by regrets of the past or anxious about the future. You understand that everything you seek is already here now. You find beauty in simplicity, in a sunrise, in silence, in the laughter of a friend. What once seemed ordinary now feels sacred. This awakening does not mean that life becomes easy. Challenges still arise, loss still visits, but you face them with equanimity. You trust that every experience, whether pleasant or painful, is an invitation to deepen your understanding of yourself and of existence. You no longer resist life, you dance with it. This is the essence of spiritual maturity, the realization that your worth, your peace, your purpose were never outside of you. They were hidden within the very pain you tried to avoid. Passing the test of the soul means you no longer search for meaning in external achievements or temporary pleasures. You've discovered the treasure within. Now, the question arises, what happens after this awakening? What is the soul's purpose once it has transcended the pain that once defined it? Jung suggested that the fully individuated person becomes a vessel for something greater, the collective unconscious, the divine intelligence of life itself. When your personal suffering transforms into compassion, you become a bridge for healing in others. You no longer live only for yourself. Your presence begins to uplift those around you. Without trying, you become a healer, a mirror, a guide. People may not understand why they feel calmer, safer, more inspired in your presence, but it's because your energy carries the vibration of peace. You've become the living proof that light can emerge from darkness. Take a moment and think, do you recognize this in yourself? Have you noticed that people are drawn to your calmness, your kindness, your quiet strength? That's not coincidence, it's resonance. Your energy has changed because you have changed. And yet, this is not the end. The journey of the soul never truly ends. It only deepens. The moment you awaken, new layers of understanding begin to unfold. In the next part, we will explore what happens after awakening, how to live from this new level of consciousness, and how to remain aligned when life tests you again. Stay until the end, because the final reflections will not only reveal how to maintain this awakened state, but also how to turn your personal evolution into a gift for the world. You now stand at the threshold of a new existence, one that no longer revolves around survival, but around meaning. Passing the most painful test of your soul was never about escaping suffering. It was about learning to transform it. What once felt like destruction has revealed itself as rebirth. You are no longer who you were before the storm. You are something deeper, wiser, and infinitely more free. Carl Jung believed that the process of individuation, the integration of the conscious and the unconscious, was the ultimate purpose of human life. He wrote that the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. That is the essence of the journey you've just completed. Every trial you faced was a mirror reflecting the parts of yourself that needed to be acknowledged, healed, and loved. And now those fragments have returned home to your heart. The question now is, how do you live from this awakened state? The first step is humility. Spiritual maturity is not about superiority or detachment. It's about presence. You understand that awakening does not make you better than others. It makes you more compassionate toward their struggles. You no longer see those who are lost in pain as broken, but as travelers still walking their sacred path, just as you once did. You begin to live with a quiet reverence for life. The small moments become portals of wonder. You notice how sunlight moves across a wall, how the sound of rain seems to whisper something ancient, how even silence carries its own music. This sensitivity is not fragility, it's awareness. The same heart that once broke open from sorrow is now open wide enough to hold beauty and pain together without resistance. In this state, gratitude becomes your natural language. You wake each day aware that you have been given another chance to see, to love, to learn. You no longer chase happiness as a goal. You allow it to arise naturally from the fullness of each moment. Happiness, you realize, is not something to achieve. It's the byproduct of authenticity. The next step is alignment. When your inner and outer worlds match, you live with integrity. You speak the truth, even when your voice trembles. You follow what feels right, not what is convenient. You create from love, not from fear. And when challenges come, as they always do, you no longer see them as punishments, but as invitations to grow. You have learned to trust the rhythm of life, knowing that even when the path disappears beneath your feet, something within you knows the way. This trust allows you to live courageously. You begin to take risks guided not by ego, but by intuition. You might change careers, leave relationships, or move to new places, not because you are running away, but because you are being called towards something more authentic. You have learned that the soul's compass always points toward truth, and when you follow it, the universe responds with synchronicities, opportunities, and gentle confirmations that you are exactly where you need to be. There is also a deeper purpose waiting for you now: service. When a soul passes through the fire and survives, it carries light back for others. Your story becomes medicine, your pain becomes guidance, You begin to realize that your healing was never just for you, it was for everyone you will touch. Whether you share your wisdom through art, conversation, teaching, or simply through the peace you radiate, your presence begins to heal. Jung once wrote that the sole purpose of human existence is to kindle a light in the darkness of mere being. That light is now within you. It is the wisdom that emerged from your suffering, the compassion that grew from your tears, the strength that was forged in your silence. And it is meant to be shared, not through preaching, but through living. The world needs awakened souls, not perfect ones, but real ones. People who have faced their own shadows and can now guide others with empathy instead of judgment. You become a quiet force of healing in every room you enter, not because you are trying to change others, but because you embody peace. Your calm becomes contagious. Your authenticity gives others permission to be themselves. Still, you will have moments when you forget, when doubt creeps in, when old wounds whisper again. But the difference now is that you know how to return. You know that the light was never outside of you. You've learned to breathe through the storms, to remember that darkness is not the absence of light, but the space where it renews itself. This is what it means to pass the most painful test of your soul. It's not a single event, but an initiation into a new way of being, one grounded in awareness, compassion, and faith in the mystery of life. The scars remain, but they no longer ache. They have become symbols of transformation, proof that you faced the fire and were not consumed. So take a deep breath. Feel how far you've come. Every lesson, every loss, every tear was preparing you for this moment, the moment when you finally see yourself not as broken, but as whole. If this message resonates with you, share your reflections in the comments below. Let others know which part of your journey mirrored what you heard today. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share this video with someone who might need to hear it. Because awakening is contagious. When one soul rises, it gives permission for others to rise too. Remember this: your soul has already passed through the fire. You have survived what was meant to destroy you, and now you carry the quiet power of someone who has seen the darkness, embraced it, and returned with light. The test was never meant to break you. It was meant to reveal you, and it has. Thanks for looking.